मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः. So in the last class we saw an introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also known as the Paramahamsa Samhita, and that is, it is not just a collection of the various stories or the history. It also has a lot of deep tattva, and it is a transmission of Brahma Vidya. We also saw that Srimad Bhagavatam is used almost like a test to see the Vidvatta, that is how well a person is learned in Sanskrita. And we saw the structure of the Bhagavatam, that it contains 12 skandhas, 335 adhyayas, and about 18,000 granthas. And we began with the concepts to understand the first verse, that is what is meant by the Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana. These are two words that you should remember. That is Swarupa Lakshanam, which means an intrinsic definition of a particular vastu, anything it might be. The Swarupa Lakshanam is defining that particular thing with its own permanent properties. Tatastha Lakshanam is something that you define with something that is impermanent, but that is helpful to understand what that vastu is. We saw an example of how we define a simple structure like a house using its intrinsic properties like color and structure, or identify it using a crow that is sitting on the house. So this is the difference between Swarupa and Tatastha Lakshana. Moving on, we saw another concept called as the Anvaya and Vyatireka method of reasoning. So in this, we saw that Anvaya means something that is always present with a particular vastu. We took the example of gold and the ornaments that were made of gold. So whatever you call the ornament, whether it be a ring or a necklace or a bangle or a bracelet, gold is something that always exists. The ornament cannot exist without gold. So gold always has Anvaya with the ornament. Vyatireka is co-absence, where if that ornament is melted, then what exists is only gold. You cannot call it by any name. So what was temporary, the name and form, that is what we called as a ring or an ornament, whatever it might be, that was temporary. But the gold was always permanent. And this ornament that we saw before was never separate from gold. So this is what is called as the Anvaya Vyatireka method of reasoning. There is a very simple understanding of that. There is a lot of depth to this also. If and where necessary, we will delve into more aspects of this method of reasoning. Till here, I hope it is clear. Now we move on to the next part. We move on to the verse itself per se. That is the first verse, Janmadhyasya Gataha. This verse consists of 9 separate phrases. We can look at it like that for easier understanding. We can look upon it as 9 separate phrases, and those 9 phrases are given here. We will see the meaning of each of these phrases now. There are so many interpretations for this verse. So in the Sanatana Dharma's mode of thinking, there are various schools called as darshanas. Each of the darshanas can interpret this verse in their own way, because it has such depth of meaning. There is the whole of Bhagavata is beginning with this verse, which means that there is so much that is filled within this verse. We will look upon it in a certain way and try to understand it. The verse ends with the phrase Satyam Param Dhimahi. The word Satyam here refers to truth, or that which exists. So what Bhagavatam is speaking about, when somebody starts speaking about Bhagavatam, what is the content that Bhagavatam is speaking about? If someone asks, then Bhagavatam itself gives the answer that I am speaking about the truth, that which is existing, is what is the goal and topic of this Bhagavatam. That is Satyam. And hence it speaks about truth and existence. What is the truth? It is the supreme truth. Truth can have various levels. How, you might ask? Truth is always truth. How can truth have various levels? See, for example, when we are dreaming, whatever comes in the dream feels like truth. But that happens only for a short while. Once you wake up, it is no more the truth. You say that is not truth. Whatever happened was just a dream. And you push it away. Similarly, when there is something that happens for a short while, let us say our own lifetime for example, whatever happens in this life, we say that is truth. But when you look at the amount of time that has passed in this creation, all this is hardly anything. When we build a house for ourselves, we say it is permanent. I have bought a permanent house or a permanent plot. But what is the permanency of that? It is probably longer than our lifetime. But we say it is permanent, and it is only a relative permanence. It is not always permanent. Similarly, this permanence that we talk of is always just relative to something else. Compared to the dreams, our waking state is more permanent. Compared to months or years, something that our lifetime is more permanent. Compared to our lifetimes, this creation, this world, or whatever we look at, that is more permanent. But then, what is something that always is permanent, that always exists? And that is the truth that we are trying to talk about here, and hence it is just called as Param Satyam. Param also means that Ishvara Vastu that is there. Bhagavan, what we call as Bhagavan, is denoted by the word Param. And Dhimahi means we meditate. Dhimahi is a very, the kind of usage directly comes from the Vedas. It says Dhimahi means we meditate upon that truth which is Bhagavan himself or Bhagavan itself. Because the word Satyam is in Napumsakalinga, meaning it just means there is no gender that is assigned. We meditate upon that supreme truth. Now, this word Satyam denotes the Swarupa Lakshana of that Brahman. We saw what Swarupa Lakshana means. This Swarupa Lakshanam means you are directly defining that Brahma Vastu. By Brahman, here we do not mean the four-faced Brahma who created the world. If you say Brahman, how do we define? What do you mean by Brahman if you ask? That which always exists, which is the most permanent thing, that is what we mean by Brahman. We will slowly get to what we mean, we will get to it in other ways. When we come through Tatastha Lakshana or we go through this, we will understand better. But if you have to describe Brahman as it is by its Swarupa Lakshanam, then all you can say is that it is truth that exists. You would have heard words like Satchidananda, that Sat, Chit and Ananda, what we speak of, that is Brahman. That is the Swarupa Lakshanam of Brahman. When we say Swarupa Lakshanam of Brahman, the shloka itself explains why do we call this as Swarupa Lakshana? And the cause for that is explained in few other phrases in this verse. Yatra Trisargo Amrisha. So we take this phrase. The next phrase is Yatra Trisargo Amrisha. Yatra means in which Brahman, this threefold creation that is there. What do we mean by threefold? Threefold means that which is made of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, the three gunas. the three gunas which are called as sattva, rajas and tamas, the whole creation is made of those three gunas. Those three gunas get their reality from something. They are based upon something that is fundamental, and that fundamental thing is that Brahman. By Amrisha, we mean something that is real. We can also call it as false. We can also split the verse as Yatra Trisargo Mrisha. This threefold creation is false. The same thing you are saying it as true and as false. Hence, we go back to that Anvaya Vyatireka. When you took the gold ornament example, if you talk about an ornament, let us say a bangle. The bangle, is it real? Yes, it is real. Why is it real? Because of the foundational gold that is present in that. It gets its reality because of the gold. But at the same time, you can also say the bangle is false because there is nothing separately called as bangle. The bangle and gold are coexistent in the same place. Whatever you call as gold is the same thing that is also called as bangle. You do not have two objects, one being gold and the second being bangle. Both refer exactly to the same object. Similarly here, in this case, yatra, in which Brahman, this Trisarga, the whole creation that is made up of sattva, rajas and tamas is real because of the subsisting Brahman, because of the foundational Brahma Vastu that is there. Because of the existential Brahman that is present, the whole creation gets its reality. But at the same time, the creation itself is like the bangle, what we call as the bangle. What exists is only Brahman, but you just call it as the whole as creation. And hence, yatra trisargo amrisha or mrisha depends on the lens with which you see it. The verse itself gives another example to make this clear. So that is a drishtanta. The third phrase which we see here is another drishtanta. Tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayaha. Tejas means fire or rays of the sun is called as tejas. Some kind of energy is called as tejas. In this case, it means the rays of the sun. Vari is water. And mrit is sand or mud or whatever you can call it. Vinimayaha means kind of a mixture of these things, all of them getting together. So, the example that is proposed here is something that we are all familiar with. Always follow the examples very closely, it becomes very easy to understand the concept. When we are going in summer, let us assume a desert. Nowadays, many people might not have gone to a desert, but let us say you are going in a tar road. Far away, you can see something like water. All of us would have experienced this one sometime or the other. And the first time you look at it, you really think that there is water. Especially for a person who is going in a desert, who is looking for water, who wants water, he will really think that there is water over there. But what is really there? There are only two things. One is tejas and other is mrit. That is, the rays of the sun are there and the sand that is there below, that exists. But something is created out there, which is the water. Now you might go near it and then say there is no water. It only appeared to be water. So that water which appears got its existence from these two things called as the rays of the sun and the mud. Those two are real. The sand is real, the rays of the sun are real. And out of that emanated water which is not real. Now we say not real because we go close and we examine and know later that it is not real. But when we look at it from far away, we still know it is real. We still think it is real. So that water that is present when we look at it from far away has a certain reality which it gets from the sand and the rays of the sun. But when you go close and examine, the water no more exists. Similarly, the whole of this creation that we see is Amrisha, is real when you see that it gets its existence from Brahman. But when you go closely and examine, you see that there is no creation and all that exists, it appears, the whole of this creation appears in that Brahma Vastu. Tejo Varimradam Yatha Vinimayaha. And hence Yatra Trisargaha Amrisha. Now, the final phrase for this Swarupa Lakshanam is again directly giving you. See, the second and third phrase on this slide are giving you example and explaining how that Swarupa Lakshanam fits in for Brahman. Now, the fourth line is again directly telling about the Swarupa. Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kubakam. Svena means by its own. By its own what? That glory, that effulgence that it has. Nirasta Kuhakam. Kuhaka means some kind of magic, some kind of Maya illusion that is there. So this whole creation is that kind of a Maya and that is removed by its own effulgence. Again, this requires an example to make it clear. When we are dreaming, we feel that all that is real. When we wake up, how did the dream vanish? What pushed away the dream? Your own knowledge that emanated from within you pushed away the dream and said that that dream is not true. Nobody from outside came and told you that this dream was not true or it is not real. This is what is real. It came from within yourself. Similarly, the understanding that this whole creation is but an appearance in that Brahman comes because of that consciousness, that awareness in Brahman itself, in that Atma itself. That's why Svena Dhamna, self-effulgence. It is not by something else, it is not by an external perspective, by something else telling, by an external light shining on it. That is not how it comes. It comes from within. So Svena Dhamna Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. And all that destroys this magic that we see forever. So when a magician creates something out of thin air, he himself rubs it away. And then you see that nothing existed, it was all an appearance. Similarly, that self-effulgence, that knowledge itself removes, it dispels this darkness. So Kuhakam, that darkness is dispelled by that light, the effulgence of this Brahmavastu. So this is the definition. So these four phrases together denote the Swarupa Lakshanam of that Brahmavastu. Now we move on to the Tatastha Lakshanam of that Brahmavastu. So what is Tatastha Lakshana? You show it by something else that is temporary. Now, we have defined Brahman as something that is always existing, that is truth and that permanently exists. Now, this definition is immediately very abstract to capture and understand. I am sure many of you are in a confused state as to how do we understand this, what is this Brahman, what is it that is there. So now that Tatastha Lakshanam comes, and that is the first phrase of the verse, Janmadi Asya Yataha. The word Janmadi, Janma means, many of us know that it means birth. In this case, it means creation. Adi means and other things, meaning creation, sustenance and destruction. Janma, Sthiti, Laya. These three things. That which is being created, that which is always sustained, and it goes back. What this world that you see in front of you, from where it is created, in which it is sustained, and into which it dissolves or gets destroyed, that thing is Brahman. So now the definition is seems slightly better, that what is Brahma Vastu? Brahma Vastu is that thing from which this whole creation that you see emanates, in which this whole creation is sustained, and into which this whole creation dissolves. Now, going back to the golden ornament example, where does the bangle come from? The bangle comes from the gold. First, there was probably just a lump of gold or a bar of gold. And so the bangle is created from the gold. Now it is sustained when the bangle is in existence. It is always in gold only. What does it mean in gold? It is through and through gold. There is nothing but gold there. But at that time you call it as bangle. And then where does it dissolve back into when you melt it? It goes back into gold only. But all through it was only gold, and hence this is Tatastha Lakshana, because it is not the intrinsic property of the gold. You cannot define gold by saying it is bangle. You cannot directly define gold. If there is a bangle on the table and you ask where is the gold, you will show it there. You will say, see that bangle, that is gold. But gold by itself is not defined because of the bangle. Similarly, Brahma Vastu is not defined because of creation, sustenance or destruction. But that is a way of understanding, saying the whole of this creation appears in Brahman. The whole of this creation appears to be sustained in Brahman, and it appears to be destroyed into Brahman. The whole thing is an appearance. Just like the appearance of the mirage. Now, at least in the gold's case, there is actually a change. You heat the gold and something converts. The shape changes, something changes. But when you take the example of the mirage, and hence that example is given in the verse, Tejo Varibhridam, there is no change at all. The water appears even though there is no change in the sun rays and the sand. There is no actual interaction between them. The whole water is just an appearance. Similarly, the Brahma Vastu never changes. There is no change that happens in Brahman, but the whole of the creation appears just like the mirage appears in the desert. And hence, Janmadi Asya Yataha is a Tatastha Lakshanam of Brahman, an indirect definition of Brahman. And that, why is it an indirect definition? Anvayad itaratascha artheshu. So this is where the Anvaya Vyatireka concept is clearly mentioned in the verse itself. Anvayat means because of Anvaya, and Itarata. Itarata means other than Anvaya, which here means Vyatireka. Artheshu means here all the things, entities that are present. In the creation, through our five senses, we perceive so many entities. We perceive it through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, all the five senses, we perceive it. All those objects are entities. They are all Vishaya. They are all called as Artha in this verse. Artheshu means those objects. This Brahman is present in Anvaya. It is the cause of all those objects. All these objects that we see around ourselves are present because of Brahman. Their material cause, meaning the thing that they are made of, is Brahman only. And they are made because of Brahman only. But all of them, if you remove the forms and names, what exists is just Brahman without any change. And hence that Itaratascha. Anvayat. Anvayat means the Brahman is the cause, is the material cause, meaning that is what they are made of. What is the stuff, if you ask? What is the bangle made of? It is made of gold. What is a pot made of? It is made of mud. Now, what is this whole creation made of? It is made of Brahman. But all these are names and forms, and hence Itaratascha. Also, Itaratascha can also mean something that is absolutely non-existent. The examples in the Shastra is a sky flower. Nobody has seen it, nobody knows what a sky flower is. Flowers don't bloom in the sky, they have to bloom on some plant. If you just say sky flower, nobody can even imagine of something. Or if you talk of something like a rabbit's horn, rabbits do not have horns. You can talk of a horn of a deer or a cow or something. But if you mention a rabbit's horn, there is nothing called as a rabbit's horn. These are something that are absolutely non-existent. So there also you can apply vyatireka, meaning co-absence. Whatever you perceive, all these have reality because of Brahman. Because Brahman is the real Satya, all these have some substance to them. Whereas the opposite, like the sky flower or rabbit's horn, they have no existence because it is not in Brahman. So anything that is non-existent, you cannot even speak about that. Anvayat itaratascha artheshu. That is the tatastha lakshana of Brahman. Now coming to the remaining parts of the verse. The word abhijnaha means something that is conscious. For something to have knowledge, it should be conscious. See, now I said the whole of creation is created by Brahman, is made of Brahman. Like the ornament is made of gold. But gold is just a lump, it is nothing, it is just a jada vastu. Meaning it is unconscious, it has nothing. But Brahman is not like that, it is not like a lump of gold or lump of mud. It is something that is aware of itself. Just like we all have the subjective experience of I, that Brahma Vastu is the cause of that subjective experience also. That aham that we have within ourselves, Brahman is that. And hence that abhijnaha, it is omniscient and it is conscious. It is not just like a lump of sand, it is just unconscious. And at the same time, it is swarat. It is a master of itself, it is absolutely free, completely independent. There is nothing that can control it, there is no conditions. There are no rules, there is nothing that can apply to it. It is absolutely independent. And that is the meaning of Swarat. This Brahman, this Brahma Vastu, that Ishvara Vastu that is there, Tene. Tene means it gave, it revealed. What did it reveal? It revealed Brahma. Here Brahma means Vedas. The Vedas that we see here, Tene Brahma, it revealed the Vedas to the Adi Kavi. The Adi Kavi here is Chaturmukha Brahma. The four-faced Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, we call him as Hiranyagarbha also. He is the Adi Kavi. So this Brahma, the Vedas were revealed to Brahma through a heart-to-heart connection. It is not the way Vedas are studied today. A guru tells it and then the Shishya repeats it multiple times and he memorizes it. That was not how it was revealed first. That Brahma Vastu, that Ishvara Vastu, directly revealed it through his heart to the Adi Kavi Chaturmukha Brahma. And those Vedas are so glorious that even the great sages are bewildered in that. In that, Yat Surayaha. Surayaha means great, wise people, those who are jnanis. Muhyanti. Muhyanti means they also get confused. And Yat here means Yatra, where. So that where can mean in that Brahma Vastu or in that Brahma, which is the Vedas. So the word Brahma can mean the Brahma Vastu or it can mean Vedas also. In this verse, it means the Vedas. The Vedas which were revealed to the Chaturmukha Brahma, where even the greatest of sages are bewildered, was revealed by that Brahman, by that Ishvara Vastu. Now, having gone through this whole verse, we have finished all the phrases. It might seem like little has gone over the head. That's okay. because this is not to be understood in the first traversal itself. And hence the word we have used as contemplation. We have to contemplate it. We have to go back to it again and again. It is not about just understanding the literal meaning of the words. What is the word meaning? As we read it and as we do japa of this verse, the meaning will naturally reveal itself. And this verse is equivalent to the Gayatri mantra. The Gayatri mantra in the Vedas is known to be the highest mantra. Na Gayatriya paro mantraha, says the Smritis. Meaning there is no greater mantra than the Gayatri mantra. And in the commentaries, if you see, each word of this verse is equated to a word in the Gayatri mantra. And this whole verse ends with the pada dhimahi. Similarly, the Gayatri mantra also has the word dhimahi. So, this verse can be chanted just like Gayatri mantra. For a mantra, the mantra itself is potent. And hence, the repeated repetition of the mantra gives the phala. The goal of the Gayatri mantra is moksha, is liberation, freedom from everything. And hence the goal of this verse is also similar. The goal of the whole of Bhagavatam is similar, that it is moksha is the goal of Bhagavatam. And hence, for those who do not have the Gayatri mantra upadesha, this verse can be repeated like Gayatri mantra. Repeated again and again to get the exact same phala. And that is given in the commentaries. Now, as a summary of this whole first verse that we have gone, it might seem very confusing, but it is actually a direct verse, and that happens, the direct understanding of the meaning happens by churning the knowledge within ourselves. And this slide should give us a very simple summary of the whole verse. Brahman, which can also be called as Bhagavan or as Ishvara or as Tattva or as Vastu. We have lot of synonyms for that word Brahman, that underlying reality which is there, that Brahma Vastu. It revealed the Vedas to Chaturmukha Brahma, who was the first appearance in this creation. So it revealed the Vedas. That Brahman is defined by the Tatastha and Swarupa Lakshana given in this verse. So it is defined in two ways, using the Tatastha Lakshana and using the Swarupa Lakshana. So first is actually, the verse starts with the Tatastha Lakshana, Janmadhyasya Yataha, and then the Swarupa Lakshana is also there as Satyam Param. Let us, the sadhakas, let us meditate upon it. Dhimahi, Vayam Dhimahi. May we all meditate upon that Brahma Vastu, which has been defined by the Tatastha and Swarupa Lakshana, and which revealed the Vedas to Chaturmukha Brahma. So, in a simple way, this is the meaning of that first verse. Now, moving on to the second verse. For the second verse, again we will see a couple of concepts. The Vedas are divided into three main parts. The first part is called as the Karma Kanda, which deals with mainly the ritualistic portion of the Vedas. The lot of homas and yagas and yajnas and even everyday pujas that we do are all taken from these parts of the Vedas. They are called as the Karma Kanda. The second part is called as the Upasana Kanda, from where emanates the later bhakti and upasana of various devatas. All of this comes from the Upasana or the Devata Kanda. The third portion is called as the Jnana Kanda, which is exactly the Upanishads. All the Upanishads that we term, they are all called as the Jnana Kanda of the Vedas. These are the three main portions that the Vedas are logically divided into. If you open the Veda Pustaka, it is not that Karma Kanda will be the first few pages, then Upasana, then Jnana Kanda. It is not physically divided like that. They are the whole of the Vedas are divided logically in this manner. This is the concept. Now, in the second verse, it starts with Dharmah Projjita Kaitavaha Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite. In this Bhagavata, which has been composed by the great sage Vyasa, this Bhagavata, which is composed by the great sage Vyasa. He is the Mahamuni. But this Mahamuni also has other meanings. We could take it to be Sriman Narayana himself. Because later we will see that Narayana gives this Bhagavata in a seed form to Brahma. So he is the first composer of Bhagavata. The short summary, he is the one who gives it. And then it is expanded by Vyasa and given to his son who is Shuka. And Shuka expands it further. And hence Mahamuni can refer to Sriman Narayana himself, to Vedavyasa, or to Brahma Rishi Shuka. So Mahamuni Krite, this Srimad Bhagavata, which is created by that Mahamuni, what is it? Now we see, why did I explain the first three parts of the Vedas? Because this verse shows how Bhagavatam is greater than each of the three kandas. How it is the Shresthatama of all Shastras that are available. This is the verse that elucidates that. It is Paramaha Dharma. The greatest of dharmas is given in this Bhagavatam. Paramaha Dharma. What kind of dharma? Projjita Kaitavaha. Meaning there is no kapata in this dharma. Kapata means some kind of trying to cheat somebody. There is no desire for fruit. See, whenever you have a desire for fruit, you have a desire towards the goal, then that is what you want to do. It is not the process, it is not the action. You are always intent on that. Kaitava means that desire for fruit. Even the desire for moksha is not there. That is projjita kaitavaha, bereft of that desire, even of moksha. And hence it is followed only by those who are sadhus free from all the internal enemies. Nirmatsara. Matsara means envy or jealousy is called as matsara. And all those internal enemies, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, the 6 enemies that we have inside, those who are free of this, they are the one who follow this dharma. Nirmatsaranam satam projjita kaitavaha paramaha dharmaha. Since it is the greatest of all dharmas, it exceeds all other rituals, and hence it has a position higher than the karma kanda portion of the Vedas. We will pause here and we will continue in the next class as to how it is greater than the upasana and jnana kanda also. And now you can raise your hands to ask questions. Keep the questions related to whatever we saw in class. Do not bring any other concepts inside. The first, you have named yourself Zoom user. That's how I can call your name. You can talk.
There are 2 special symbols that appear. Looks like an U and an M.
Which verse?
In I forget the verse. I think it's the very first verse, or even in
This one?
Yeah, right there. Dharma.
Yes,
There is
I will explain that. That is dharma projjita. When you listen to me reciting or the panelist reciting, you would have heard dharma projjita. It sounds like the F sound in English, but it is not the F sound. It is just the wind through the lips. It has to come as dharma projjita. The wind has to come through the lips, and it is called as the upadhumaniya in Sanskrita. And it comes when the visarga appears before pakara or phakara. For more detail, you can see there have been pronunciation classes which was conducted in my previous course in Narayaniam. There this has been explained in more detail. Since that does not have a dedicated symbol, we use this symbol to denote that upadhumaniya. And I hope that is clear.
Thank you, Swami.
It has to be learnt by hearing. That's all. Raji or
Namo Namaha.
Namaste.
Namaste. I wanted to understand, like when you were explaining in the first verse about entities and non-entities.
Mhm.
I wanted some example or something by which we can understand what is entities and non-entities.
So the example I gave, so entity would mean any entity that is present that we perceive is called as an entity. The non-entity, as I said, relates to something that is absolutely not existent, like sky flower or the horn of a rabbit. Those are non-entities.
Okay.
That is one
Dhanyavad.
way of understanding. Yes. Again, as I said, there are multiple interpretations. We have just
Yes.
seen one or two interpretations.
Thank you so much.
Rajashri Udupi, you can unmute yourself and speak. Those who I am calling out by name. Yes. Rajashri?
Yes.
Ah,
Can you hear me now?
yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. The Brahman revealed the Vedas to Chaturmukha Brahma. That was the meaning given here.
Correct.
I wanted to know that if whatever we have learned is Brahman is Akarta. So how he can do that action? That's my doubt.
Okay, that is again, as I said, it is, we have not learnt that Brahman is Akarta as yet here.
Huh.
That question is beyond the scope.
Okay.
That is detailedly dealt with in other, we have to go to other Advaitic Shastras to deal with how that Akarta will still apply here.
Can we take here it as a Saguna Ishvara?
Again, don't bring in concepts of Saguna or Nirguna here. We have
Okay.
not dealt with the concepts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Dhanyavad. Parthasarathi Ganesh.
Projita Kaitavaha. Sloka number 2
Yes.
is, can you just tell me the meaning again? Kaitavaha is fruit and Projitaha is, I
He's
just
just
wanted to
leaving it. Projita means to give it up.
give it.
So, Kaitava has multiple meanings. It is, see, whenever if we do dharma with a particular desire only, I follow dharma so that I don't get caught, or I want something else from it. Then there is always you try to do as less as possible, and you try to get to shortcuts, or you basically do it with something, some kind of desire that you want. That is why you are doing that dharma. It is basically like a business transaction. You don't do it for the sake of it. But all that is kitava. All that happens in this world, any transaction that we do, is conditioned upon something. That is kitava, and hence kaitava. When you give up all that kitava qualities, it becomes projita kaitavaha. The dharma is very pure dharma, and hence we have called it as paramaha dharma, the greatest dharma that can be followed, Bhagavata dharma. That way.
Dhanyavad.
Sarita Deshpande. Sarita Deshpande, you can unmute. Or Panchanandam Swami. Sarita Deshpande, you have unmuted, you can speak.
Yeah, I'm very new to this your class, sir. Last class I was not able to attend, but I don't see the explanatory video or audio in your this thing. I just wanted to
It is all
know.
uploaded. It is there both on YouTube and on our SFH. That is the Sanskrit from home. When you go to access the course, you will find that in the course materials.
Okay,
If you
okay.
have
Last class
difficulty, you
also.
can contact our customer support, and you
Okay.
find it is uploaded on YouTube also.
Okay, I just wanted to know whether my name is included in your WhatsApp group or not. I am not able to find it.
That here I will go to the final slide. Again, I have, you can join it using by scanning this QR code.
Okay, okay. Okay, sir.
One
Thank you.
second, I will just share that slide so that you can join by scanning the QR code.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No. Okay.
Namaskaram, sir. Swaminathan.
Namaste. Yes.
As usual, your classes are fantastic and enlightening. I just wanted to make one comment. Of course, your discussions are excellent. I'm also taking some courses on Tarkashastra, they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about Anvaya, Vyattireka, and all these things. Yes,
Yes.
I followed this. This particular example he gave me made
Mm.
a very clear understanding of that concept. So
Mm.
thank you very much for bringing that point, even though we can dwell more on this, when the ornament is gold. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vannihi, yatra tatra vannihi tatra dhumaha na syat. So we can use the
Mm.
same analogy, right? This one here. So
Yes.
thank you very
You can
much.
apply that here also.
So the beauty of this class is it gives a different meaning for me. For me, I can only speak for myself. So it's very exciting, and thank you very much. I hope I can't miss the classes because I have some classes with other classes just ending, starting before you finish. So I may not ask questions. I may have to jump onto the other
No
class.
problem.
But anyway, it's very
Avashya.
beautiful. Dhanyavada. Thank you.
Avashya. Very happy. So there were other participants also who were attending Tarka Shastra. Those who are attending that Shastra will find a lot of similarities and they'll be able to appreciate the concepts. Very happy. But we will, those who are not attending, don't feel let down or anything. All the concepts that are necessary here will be within this.
Dhanyavada.
Aditi, you can unmute and speak.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, yes. Mm.
Yeah, I think everyone's appreciated your class enough. I'd just like to say that I think the explanations that you give are nearly scientific. So it's like a scientific plus spiritual explanation. So thank you. Thanks a lot for that. My question is in the Mangalam Stotram, we are talking about Purusha, about Brahman. So then why is Bhagavatam very specific to Vishnu? Or is it that I'm not
Again,
understood?
this is,
But what
we
is
will
basically
slowly deal with this because this
okay?
requires some explanation. There is, it is because it talks about Krishna, it deals with Vishnu. See, it has to deal with some particular devata, and that is the Ishta devata of this the Purana, which has taken that up, and hence it deals with that. We will keep the explanation short now. Somewhere else, as we go down the line, I think your question will be answered as we go through these studies.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Dhanyavad. Akhila.
Yes, Guruji, I'm also very new to all these things. I've just started. I missed the first class I attended last Saturday. My
Mhm.
question is, slokas that you're teaching, where can I get it? Is it in the Bhagavatam book itself? Because I have the Bhagavatam book. Will I be able to get it on the site?
Your question somewhere in the middle, your words were not clear. What do you want to
Okay,
get in the
I'll
site
repeat.
or book?
I want the sloka.
The
The
shloka, the
shlokam that
material
you
is
taught us
available in the
today.
core. The course material, the whole thing is available as the Devanagari script. In
Okay.
the upcoming week, we will upload it in other scripts also.
Okay. So I can
The
just download it
just
and
the
see
original
it.
shlokas are available there. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Guruji.
Vani C, you may talk. After Vani, Lalita Krishnamurthy can speak.
Namo Namaha, Mahodaya. Just a
Namaste.
small, when you were saying about this Satyam, Param, Dhimahi and all, if alongside, if we also have Devanagari, it is much more easier because we are trying to unlearn the Roman and get into the Sanskrit and
That is
Devanagari.
correct. This is because there are both audience present, and if I have both, then the slide will become too cluttered. Slowly, I will shift. As
So
of
then
now, you
to
anyway, the
understand
verses
the
are
words
there.
and all, no? Yeah, that's why I was thinking.
Correct. Verses are in Devanagari only. I will use both alternatively.
While explaining, if that is
So,
not
so that
clear,
those who are only with Roman, they can slowly convert to Devanagari, and those who know only Roman do not feel absolutely left out. When you see the slide, then they will not understand anything. So, it will slowly convert. So, do not worry.
Okay. Uh, Namaste,
Yes.
Ramaraj.
Yes.
The same question I want to ask Mr. Gentleman Parthasarathi asked the same question for the Kaitrava. So, to explain that, so I'm so happy because Kaitrava means Kabada, one of the meaning is there, na? Kabada sannyasi, like that kind. I don't know
Correct.
the same. Yeah? Mm.
Very
So
similar.
why the
Again, in the next class, we will again go through. So do not worry. Prochita, we will again go to the second verse. So you will get more clarity.
okay, okay. Dhanyavad.
Pushpa Sridharam and then Lakshmi NRS.
Namaste, Guruji. Namaste. Sir, in case we are a beginner to Bhagavatam and we follow this course, we are supposed to chant these stutis and then can we proceed learning with Bhagavatam or how to go about it, sir? Suppose we start reading Bhagavatam skanda to skanda, then this will
Yeah,
be
this
the
is a
first step
beginner course only. Or in
Okay.
Vyoma, it is a beginner. The chanting part is very beginner friendly only. So you can learn these stutis. Then you will get felicity with recitation of the verses. And hence we are using this.
Okay. So this can be chanted daily on a regular basis.
Yes. It can be chanted
Okay.
daily. Yes. Whatever we are teaching
Okay.
should be. It is to be chanted.
Chanted. Okay.
I got 2 points. One is with that QR code, I'm not able to join this WhatsApp group. I don't know how to.
Okay, you can contact our customer support. Our number is there on every slide, as you can see. Not on every slide, but on the
There
website.
is any link?
The link I will try to share. If there is somebody, if they can share on the somewhere, I will try to share. Okay.
One more point is. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. One more point is it possible to give Pratipadartha in your PDF of every class? Because you are giving the English meaning below the line of the slokam, but certain words like some people are asking about Kaitava and all, we won't get exact meaning of the words. So if it is
So that is there. See, in the slide that I am giving.
Pratipadartha is given for each word separately, that will be of great help.
In the slide that I am giving, a very phrase-wise meaning is present. When I am explaining for each word, so you can note it down. By just giving Pratipadartha, it is not going to make much sense. See, the dictionary is there. If you search the dictionary for Kaitava or Kitava, you will get a meaning. It is about understanding the whole verse as a whole. And especially with Bhagavatam, the literal meaning of the words are not going to help you. So that is why the phrasal meanings are given.
We are very
So,
new to these concepts of what you are explaining today.
Just understand. Do not worry
So
about
I will be able to
the meaning of the word.
follow.
Yes. So you just listen and understand. That is, Shravana is important, not every literal meaning. You have to listen.
Yes, right. Regarding that group, WhatsApp group, please.
I will share it on chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yamuna Badri and then Ravi Kiran.
Namaste, Guruji. Guruji, I had a doubt on the concept of Swarupa Lakshanam and Tatastha Lakshanam. So, how do we distinguish between when we come across any description, how do we distinguish whether that's using Swarupa? Because I think it appears that the description will always be limited by prior knowledge, right? So,
the person who is defining has to be clear, that's all. It is not based upon the definition only. See, sometimes if you know some background knowledge, then you might know whether it, with the example that I gave, if you say the crow is on the, that place where crow is on the house, then you clearly know it is Tatastha Lakshana, because the crow is not the house. The crow is nowhere related to the house. Because you know the concept of what a house is, what a crow is already previously. Hence, this is fine.
Yes, but for
some new concept like Brahman, it is not immediately perceptible as to which is Swarupa or Tatastha Lakshana. That happens only when you get a deeper understanding of the concepts, or you take, we learn it from the Guru or the Shastra, and hence we take that Vakya to be authority.
Namaskaram, Acharya ji. This is on the slide where where you spoke about that this is dharma is greater than the kanda. So there you mentioned that nirmat saranam satam. Does this mean that we become a sadhu who is bereft of desires, or what exactly that line? Can you just elaborate a little
We
bit?
will, when we finish the whole verse, you will get a clear understanding of that. The goal of the verse is there, that will come at the last slide. You should get a clear understanding of what we mean there.
Thank you, Asarji.
Sumati Chandrasekhar and then Srinivas.
Namaskaram, Guruji. You mentioned about Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Jnana Kanda. So I wanted to know, is it like we have to go through all three of them, then only we attain the Brahman, or by just having the surrender bhakti bhav and getting the knowledge further, and then we can attain? My basic question is it mandatory to perform those rituals and only then we actually enter into this?
So again, this is slightly outside the topic of the course. Nevertheless, a short answer I will give. According to Shastras, everybody would have, we need rituals, we need upasana. You cannot do away with them. Even what you term as simple bhakti, can I just do surrender? What do you mean by surrender? How do you do surrender? It is not easy for a general normal adhikari to say, I will just surrender. What do you mean by surrender? You puja to Bhagavan, you offer flowers, you offer some mantra japa you do. All this is some form of ritual only.
Yeah, but if I do it in
hence,
a manana,
all that is necessary at different levels. It is all necessary. But what is going to give you moksha is only jnana, and nothing other than jnana will lead to moksha. And hence, that is of the highest necessity, and that is the requirement. So we will keep it at this form of answer.
Okay, Guruji, thank you.
Ashok Gudusurkar and then Swati K.
Namaste,
Ashok,
sir.
you can.
You have given the photo of that QR for the WhatsApp group, but how to join that?
You can just take your phone and show the camera. The link will automatically appear.
No, but I have taken the photo of that your photo, but I mean this QR photo. But further to how to, I don't know how to do further.
Okay, if you just show the camera itself, usually a link will appear. If you just click that link, you will automatically join the group.
Okay. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Namaskaram, Mahodaya.
Namaste.
You in the last slide it was mentioned one must be bereft of desire, even moksha. So I think as normal people or normal bhakta, all of us would actually aspire for moksha and work towards and would want to work towards it. How is it possible to be bereft of that moksha, that we do not want even moksha? How can we reach that state? Is there
Next
any
class.
exam?
Next class. Venkata Subramaniam, yes.
Namaste, Mahoday. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Actually, I'm a teacher. I'm taking classes. So normally during this time, 8 to 9 Saturday, I'm having classes. I'm taking classes for school children. My class ends by 9 o'clock only.
Okay.
So some days I can adjust the class and come to the class, come to you to attend your class. Else I'm using that YouTube video which you are uploading.
Yes.
Or the recording session which this your Vyoma website is uploading. Yesterday I didn't find the second video, but probably you may upload tomorrow or day after tomorrow. My question is,
no, second video is already uploaded anyway. Continue.
So far I have seen the last two classes also. So my question is, if I am unable to attend the classes live, and I will make sure that I'm seeing the classes afterwards.
Yes.
So is that okay, Guruji?
Yes, it is absolutely okay. That is why the recordings are uploaded, so that you can, because everybody in the time might not fit. So that is why the recordings are there. Please make use of them and attend regularly.
One more doubt, Guruji. At the end of this course, you told that there will be a chanting opportunity assessment.
Correct.
So if at all, if I attend by recording without...
Yes, you can attend the assessments also. The assessments, there will be a lot of time slots, and hence you will surely be able to attend the assessments. Those who are
because
following it
whenever...
through recordings also can attend assessments.
Because whenever I go in and in the login, it says absent last week. So
It's
if
okay.
there are too many absence,
No, we will
I am
not
afraid.
consider that for assessment. Do not worry.
Thank you. That was my main doubt. Thank you very much, Guruji. Thank you.
Chandrasekhar AR, you can speak.
Namaste, Guruji.
Sujit.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Oh,
Hello, Chandrasekhar. Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. The only thing is whether there are two questions. One is about the Sanskrit, Devanagari. Those who are not familiar with Devanagari, will the pronunciation change in chanting the Bhagavatam?
No, see, any pronunciation is because of listening, not because of the script. The script can be anything. It could be Devanagari, it can be Kannada, it can be Telugu or Malayalam or anything. Only Tamil does not have all the letters, so it will become difficult. But any other, it is pronunciation is only due to listening. So the better one listens and repeats, the pronunciation will be good.
And will all the participants get a chance to chant during the class, or how it is, sir?
No, during the class it is not possible because there are about 400 participants in the class. So only the panelists will get a chance to chant during the class. The assessments can be attended by all participants.
Okay. Dhanyavad, sir.
Srinivas and then Nivedita.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste. Wonderful classes. My question is about that sloka which was equated to Gayatri Mantra. For the Gayatri Mantra, there are certain prerequisites and all that. I mean, usually we do. For this sloka, are there any such things? Is my question.
For Bhagavata as such, there are no prerequisites, and these verses can be chanted.
Okay.
The nice pronunciation has to be learned from a guru. It can be chanted.
Thank you.
Nivedita Gulati, you can unmute and speak. Those who have clarified the doubts, please put your hands down.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to know that you are also taking Narayaniam classes. No? So when it is going to start? Though it is
No,
not
Narayaniam
related to
classes
what
were taken before. Narayaniam classes have been completed. They happened over a period of 3 to 4 years. They were conducted. All the recordings are available on our website and on YouTube.
Okay, thank
so
you.
if you want to learn, you can go through those classes to learn Narayaniam.
And any chance of again conducting the class live?
We do not know. As of now, there is no plan.
Okay, thank you.
Dhanyavad. I think all doubts have been cleared. Namaste sarvebhyaha, ram ram ram. We will meet again next Saturday. Agrima Shanivasare drakshyamaha. Namo namas sarvebhyaha.